close some of the loopholes that we have seen since some of the decriminalization of our laws.
Reforming reform. Kern County is backing a new 2020 initiative that's giving California voters the chance to change criminal justice laws.
And getting rid of squatters. Well, there's an app for that. The reason some people think it won't work.
And the Fox Theater honoring the memory of David Marcus. Tell you about the star-studded tribute.
Live in high definition from KBAK TV in Bakersfield. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Platt.
And I'm Dave Gonzalez. The District Attorney's Office and the Mayor's Office are taking a tough stance on crime after announcing their support for initiatives set to be on the 2020 ballot. It is looking to make 3 changes. The first is create tougher laws on people who commit thefts and stifle businesses.
The second would change a loophole that currently allows inmates convicted of violent crimes to receive early parole by being treated as nonviolent offenders. And the third change would ensure DNA collection from convicted criminals even when they commit misdemeanor crimes.
Raina Harvey spoke with some local groups about the new law and tells us why they support that push. Raina?
Well, Dave and Jeff, it's called the Reducing Crime and Keeping California Safe Initiative, and it could very well reduce the petty crime we see every day here in Bakersfield.
Crime in the last 18 months has been horrific.
For In Your Wildest Dreams, consignment store owner Dixie Brewer, it's been less than a dream being a business owner in downtown Bakersfield.
We came in and were vandalized. We came in when windows were broken, and it just was repeated weekly until it became to the point to where we couldn't take it any longer.
After not 1, 2, but several break-ins, she was fed up.
It makes one want to close their doors when we can't get any really local political help or anything like that.
Mayor Karen Go and District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer claim the uptick in crime is because of recent changes to the law, citing AB 109 and Prop 47.
Since the voters voted in Prop 47 and other reform measures, we've seen the unintended consequences that have been impacting communities all through California.
District Attorney Zimmer says if their initiative is passed, they can hold more thieves accountable.
Aims to close some of the loopholes that we have seen since some of the decriminalization of our laws. Now this gives us the tools that we need because we can prosecute people for felony crimes if they have prior theft convictions.
In addition to prior convictions and closing loopholes, Zimmer also wants DNA collected from convicted criminals to be permitted as evidence.
This is one small step in the right direction.
Now, this initiative will be on the November 2020 ballot. For more information on that, you can visit our website at bakersfieldnow.com. For now, reporting in studio, Raina Harvey, Eyewitness News.
All right, Raina, thanks for that. Kern County Sheriff's detectives are investigating a shooting that happened in Bodfish. It happened last night near Pioneer Place. Deputies say they found a man shot in the chest. He was flown to Kern Medical. His condition there is unknown. A search continues today for the shooter.
Kern County and Bakersfield fire crews are cleaning up after a fire in northeast Bakersfield. It happened in an abandoned business near the Alta Vista Drive and Columbus Streets. Multiple fire engines were needed to get the fire under control. Both streets were closed down while fire crews fought the flames. The cause of the fire still under investigation. No injuries reported.
Over the weekend, President Trump called off an unannounced meeting with the Taliban regarding the future of Afghanistan. The president called off the meeting after the Taliban suicide bombing that killed 12 people. In a statement, the Taliban claims that canceled talks will damage America's reputation and unmask its anti-peace policy to the world.
When I heard, very simply, that they killed one of our soldiers and 12 other innocent people, I said, there's no way I'm meeting on that basis. There's no way I'm meeting.
President Trump says that he would still like to pull out of Afghanistan, but only if it is the right time.
Congress is back for the fall session today, their to-do list growing just as campaign season comes closer. Pressure is mounting on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to address gun violence, election security, and other issues. President Trump hasn't fully explained what he'd like to see Congress accomplish this time around, particularly when it comes to gun control. That leaves McConnell mainly focused on confirming the White House's administrative and judicial nominees. And with that, let's take a first look at your forecast here. Lows today around the region. See that just 50 degrees in Tehachapi this morning, 64 here in Bakersfield. Actually a below normal day when it comes to our lows. Same for our highs. You see Bakersfield at 87, same as Fresno, 72 in Tehachapi and 79 down there in LA. Still pretty hot out in the desert, triple digits in Needles and Blythe, but Las Vegas coming down under triple digits today. Taking a look at our Doppler radar, you might be asking, where is all the weather? Well, I'll tell you, it's not here, but there is a bunch of it up by the Minnesota-Canadian border, and then a ton more down in Louisiana, Mississippi, and even the eastern portion of Texas. Planning out the rest of your evening here in Bakersfield, you're going to see 78 degrees tonight at 8 o'clock at night, 73 by midnight, and waking up to just 60 degrees at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Over in the mountains, you're looking at about 61 tonight just after dinner, 47, a pretty chilly morning there at 7 a.m., and 73 out in the deserts this evening, 59 when you wake up tomorrow and start your day.
A new app is being tested in Bakersfield, working to clear out the city's squatters. Bakersfield police say they received around 20 calls a month from homeowners reporting squatters in their neighborhood.
And now a local realtor hopes that his app can help police getting those squatters out of those buildings. But some think it's just not a permanent solution. Emma Goss explains why. Emma?
Dave, Jeff, the Squatters Prevention Act is almost like a DMV registry, but for your house. It verifies that you own a specific property and lets police know how to reach you. That way, when they approach squatters on your property, they'll know who's who.
We check back here pretty frequently, and as of 2 days ago, these were the boards that were up, and as you can tell, they're pretty damaged from people prying them open and getting in.
Seven Bates lives just around the corner from this vacant house in Bakersfield's historic Westchester neighborhood. He's seen 2 house fires tear through this antique home in the past 3 months.
You know, they're just people, it's unfortunate, but they're trying to cook a meal for themselves, and that's what is unfortunately endangering our homes and our kids.
They're squatters, homeless people living there illegally. Police have removed them numerous times, but they often return the next day, even when it's been boarded up.
We'll go out there, we'll find people. It does appear that they are trespassing. However, if we can't find the responsible party for that home, our enforcement action is very limited.
So realtor David Knob spent the past few years developing SPA, the Squatters Prevention Act, a mobile registry for police to immediately determine who owns a given property.
It can be really stressful and a financial hardship to homeowners, and so I just thought there had to be something to do about it.
Evicting squatters often ends in litigation, which can cost as much as $26,000, according to Knob. SPA asks property owners to pay about $90 a year for protection. Neighbors and police agree. It's a faster, cheaper means to eviction, but affordable housing is what's needed to truly fix the problem.
That app won't find housing for people that don't have it.
The Squatters Prevention Act is listed on Android and Apple devices, and after a 90-day pilot program in Bakersfield, it will hopefully be available countywide. Reporting in studio, Emma Goss, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Emma. Houchin Blood Bank is offering a deal they hope you can't refuse. Donate blood for a chance to win free passes to the fair. It's the 7th year that Houchin is hosting its annual Pint for a Pass blood drive. You'll also have a chance to win ride wristbands to get on any fair ride for free. Just drop by either Houchin Blood Bank or give blood through Wednesday. Kern County Fair starts next week, September 18th.
The Fox Theater is honoring David Marcus with a star on the Walk of Stars this weekend. Marcus died, of course, you remember, in June after receiving treatment for multiple bouts of cancer. He inspired many in Bakersfield to keep fighting. Marcus even received words of encouragement from President Trump. The public is invited to the unveiling of Marcus's star this Saturday at 10:30 in the morning at the Fox Theater. Donations will also be collected for his Thumbs Up Scholarship Foundation.
Still ahead here on Eyewitness News, it took 35 hours to get 4 people out of an overturned cargo ship. We'll tell you about the obstacle delaying the Coast Guard efforts.
And Congress back in session, the gun violence debate still raging on.
And just a week after Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas, desperation to escape the devastation is rising.
Plus, a little warmer in Bakersfield than it was this time yesterday. What you can expect for tomorrow. And the full forecast coming up.
Coast Guard crews have now rescued all 4 crew members from a cargo ship in Georgia, I should say, 3 of whom were trapped for nearly 35 hours. 20 people were rescued from the ship. Video shows rescue crews pulling one person to safety in the middle of the night before smoke and fire suspended their rescue mission.
The condition is relatively good for having spent close to 34 or 35 hours in the conditions they're in.
Investigators are determining if weather actually played a role in the mishap. The port remains closed right now as investigators try to figure out how to upright the ship. Search warrants served yesterday to the owner of the California dive boat that went up in flames last week. 39 people were on board the Conception. Only 5 people survived. Investigators say the rest of the passengers most likely died of smoke inhalation. The bodies of 33 people have been recovered, but 1 is still missing.
The president awarded the Medal of Valor to first responders from Texas and Ohio for the bravery they showed during 2 mass shootings last month. Later, a group of mayors from across the nation met with White House officials to discuss ways to prevent those shootings. Democrats on Capitol Hill asked the Senate to take up a background checks bill that the House has already passed.
You've got to start with universal background checks. The American people agree with it, so it is an action that will save lives.
The White House is expected to release its own legislative proposal, but it's not clear when that's going to happen.
Still ahead here, a selfless act, a surprise a South Carolina boy received after buying food for hurricane evacuees.
And it's been a week since Dorian brought destruction to the Bahamas. Now thousands wait to escape the hardest hit areas. The United Nations says about 70,000 people in the Bahamas are in need of food and shelter. Government officials say they've evacuated about 3,500 people. Errol Barnett has more.
Just a week after Hurricane Dorian struck the Bahamas, the desperation to escape the devastation is rising. Thousands waited to board boats and planes headed to Nassau or Florida over the weekend. On Sunday, we joined a team of firefighters from the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County as they searched for victims on Grand Bahama Island, delivering aid to those stranded in the hardest hit areas.
Where would a good place for us to bring you?
In the middle of the devastation, we found Eva Thomas, staring into the distance, holding a shovel.
See all the debris lined up in front of your home.
Yeah.
This is your whole life right here.
Right there. Everything going one time.
Randy and Sylvia Nagy felt Dorian's eye bulldozer over them as they rode out the storm in their beachside home. We listened as they used the first responders' satellite phone to call their daughter for the first time since the disaster.
This was very, very bad decision.
Sounds like there's like a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, it is. It is right now.
Yeah, it was good there. Here, not talking to any of them in a while. And you got each other still.
Yeah, we do.
Errol Barnett, CBS News in the Bahamas.
A boy who used his Disney vacation savings to help Hurricane Dorian evacuees got a surprise trip to Disney World anyway. Jermaine Bell is his name. He used money that he had been saving to buy hot dogs, chips, and water for about 100 evacuees in Allendale, South Carolina. Well, the mouse took notice of this selfless act. Disney employees showed up at his home and they delivered the news of his surprise trip. Jermaine and his family will visit the Orlando park later this month.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast.
That's cool. Good for him. Wait, and good on Disney. Not a company man there. Take a look right here, Bakersfield live look. You see very minimal haze line at the bottom here, which is very nice. We've got pretty decent air quality right now. You see a lot of blue sky up top. Cars moving nice and smoothly. Right now, our temperature here in Bakersfield, 85 degrees. We've got about a 12-mile-an-hour wind kicking by. Humidity a little high at the 29% mark, but altogether feels like 83. And on a day when it's 85, what's the difference? Feels nice. Our high today, 87, and you're going to start noticing that over the next few weeks, as sunset starts getting earlier and earlier, another thing that's going to happen is we're going to see our temperatures cool off from our high a lot quicker. So we're done with those days where, it's still the same temperature as the high was at 7:30 at night or anything like that. So we're going to cool off a little bit. You can see our high well below normal. Same for our low, a couple of ticks below normal. Temperatures around the area, you see 70 degrees in Tehachapi right now, 93 in Ridgecrest, 85 over there in Edwards, and 87, 84 up in Hanford and in Fresno. Temperature change, as I mentioned right before the break, a little warmer here in the valley today than it was this time yesterday, but that's all about to change. Take Santa Barbara, for example. We're not going to cool down 15 degrees, warn you there, but we are going to cool down a little bit, and it's all because this low pressure system is about to drop down. Right now it's above us here, but it's going to start to sink, and once it starts sinking, it's going to bring this cold air with it. And see how the low pressure rotates counterclockwise? Watch when we go here. You can actually see on the radar that rotation here, bringing that cold air from the Bay and from the Pacific Northwest just straight down. It's going to smack us right there like a clock spinning the wrong way. The hour hand is just going to come and get us. So right now, nothing in the way of precipitation with that low pressure system, but we will get windy. You're going to see we've already got winds out in the deserts and in the mountains. I actually drove through the desert and through Tehachapi on my way back from Nevada today, and you could feel it shaking the car a little bit. And granted, my car's not big, so maybe that's part of the problem. But watch as overnight the winds die down, but they don't go away. Even here in town, where normally we'd see a calm reading in the early morning hours, now we're seeing 5, 6, 7 miles an hour. So we're going to have sustained wind all throughout the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, when that low pressure system sinks, you're going to see the winds swell all over town, all through the mountains, all through the deserts. And so that is something we will get, although no precipitation. We will also get to see our good air quality continue. It was good today, it's going to be good tomorrow, it's going to be good on Wednesday also, which is fantastic news. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast now. You can see the next 2 days with that low. 82 is our projected high for tomorrow. Overnight low, only 60. That is definitely fall-time temperatures right there. Tuesday and Wednesday a little warmer at 86. And you see Thursday, we get back to normal, 95 degrees, and then we start to warm up, might hit triple digits over the weekend. These are more less than normal. This is a little higher than normal, but it's going to be a little warm stretch, a couple cool days coming around. But the one thing to take a look at is even when it gets warmer, those overnight lows are starting to drop because the sun is going down earlier, we're going to cool off earlier, and it just has more time for us to cool off and for that heat to escape. Over in the mountains, you're looking at 69 for a high tomorrow, and then up into the 70s, 80s by the end of the week and the weekend. And over in the Kern River Valley, 76 tomorrow, 82 Wednesday, overnight lows in the 50s, jumping up to the 60s and highs in the low 90s the rest of the way. But a couple of good days here, a couple of days that we can certainly enjoy.
Yeah, tomorrow's really nice.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Still ahead here in Eyewitness News, an exclusive interview with the FBI's head of counterterrorism, talking about the challenges and struggles to keep the U.S. safe.
And Kern County is celebrating its 20th annual college night. The hopeful high school seniors are looking towards their future.
I think we're right.
Are you winning the fight?
I would say we are, yes.
In a rare one-on-one with the head of the FBI's counterterrorism division, an exclusive interview looking at the changes and the struggle to keep America safe. Sinclair's chief political correspondent Scott Thuman talks with FBI Assistant Director.
Sometimes we don't want credit.
In a rare one-on-one with the FBI's Assistant Director Mike McGarrity, we talked about how they're working to prevent attacks like the mass shooting last month targeting Hispanics in Texas and a shooting in Ohio by a man who reportedly supported the far-left Antifa movement.
You've got right now, give or take, 850 domestic terrorism cases.
Approximately.
A 30 to 40% rise since October.
A 30 to 40% increase in those racially motivated violent extremists who support the notion of white supremacy. That we've seen the increase.
Are you seeing more anti-government cases?
We have seen, just like we've seen on the racially motivated violent extremists, we have seen an increase in anti-government cases as well.
Right now, no domestic terrorism statute on the books, and I think that would surprise a lot of people. Is it easier or harder for you to pursue a domestic terrorist versus an international one?
There's certainly more tools in the toolbox for an international terrorism subject for us to look at. If you were to compare it to domestic terrorism, many of those subjects we arrest on non-federal terrorism charges. So we will use whatever charge we have available. We want to stop the threat.
There are now bipartisan proposals in Congress to give the Bureau more power by formally naming domestic terrorism a federal crime, so it can more aggressively pursue suspects before an attack and seek harsher punishment after.
You've said that the flash to bang time has gotten shorter. What do you mean by that?
The radicalization can still take quite a bit of time, but the mobilization of violence, what used to take years, now literally takes months. I'm talking in a matter of a couple of weeks, and then mobilize to violence quickly, again in a couple of weeks. So we've opened cases and made arrests on international terrorism and domestic terrorism cases, all within a few-week period.
Are you winning the fight?
I would say we are, yes.
In Washington, Scott Thuman.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, it is college night for high school seniors. Thousands of students and parents are meeting with college representatives.
And nearly every state joins a new investigation into Google, the scrutiny the tech giant is now facing.
Right now, the 20th annual Kern County College Night is underway.
Thousands of students, parents, and coaches are at Rabobank Arena meeting with college representatives. Ali Triolo is there with a look. Ali, what's going on there?
Jeff, Dave, good evening. I'm here at Rabobank Arena, and take a look behind me. You can see it is absolutely packed. 11,000 people are expected to be here tonight to meet with more than 120 universities. This is an epic night for Kern County. I want to show you what it looked like, though, before this. Students, they were lined up out front starting at 4 o'clock, an hour early, and they were even greeted by the BC band. It was so exciting to see how eager these high school students are to make that leap into a higher education and go on that journey. Now, aside from universities that are here tonight, we also have the military, we have different types of junior colleges, local colleges, Bakersfield College, CSUB, we have all of the UCs, Stanford. This is really a major night for Kern County. And something excellent about our district is we do better than the state average on our graduating rates. 86% of high school seniors, they are graduating from Kern County high schools every year, and that is a great sign. Now, when it comes to those students that are graduating from high school, 38% of those are ready and able to go to college, and within that, 20% are going to be going on to a 4-year university. But something that Kern County officials want students to know tonight is that college really can be for anyone, no matter the cost.
We have 3 workshops on scholarships and how to get them, and there are millions of dollars being given away every day that kids are not applying for.
All right, so I just caught up with one student that is here tonight. What's your name?
Santiago Reina.
And where do you go to high school?
Wasco.
Wasco High School. Why are you here tonight?
I'm just looking for colleges to see like what interest, because I'm still a junior enrolled in Wasco High, and I'm just like taking a BC class at my high school, and it's criminology, criminal justice, and I'm just looking around to see what kind of colleges I'm really going to be into. Like, I see a lot of colleges, they look cool.
Awesome. Well, what sign do you got right now?
Fresno, this is like my #1 choice, because like my brother goes there and he's like, it's really nice. And like,
awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck. It's so awesome to see students even here at an earlier age, juniors, sophomores, wanting to get that jump up on their college education. So reporting live in downtown Bakersfield, I'm Ali Triolo with Eyewitness News.
All right, we wish them all luck. Thanks for that, Ali. Kern County Library kicked off its annual One Book Project program today. The project encourages the community to share experiences related to the book's themes through discussion. This year's main book is The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba.
William Kamkwamba is actually coming to Bakersfield in October, and he is a world-renowned figure for his ability to have built a windmill basically out of trash to produce electricity for his village in their time of need.
Kamkwamba is coming to the Icardo Center October 30th to discuss his book. For a full list of all the titles chosen this year, you can visit the Kern County Library.org.
Are Google and Facebook too big? A number of states suspect the tech giants are stifling competition and harming consumers. Hillary Lane explains.
Google's advertising practices and dominance in online searches are under investigation by attorneys general in 48 states, as well as Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. The bipartisan group made the announcement in front of the Supreme Court.
When there is no longer a free market or competition, this increases prices, even when something is marketed as free.
There's concern the tech giant is behaving like a monopoly, stomping out or buying out rivals, and that it holds an oversized sway in the digital advertising market.
The overwhelming number of query responses relate to Google, businesses, and or advertisers that pay for that slot.
The attorneys general say small businesses with smaller advertising budgets lose out, and so do small states whose residents rely on products and services they find online.
We like wide open spaces, and we like competition as well.
Google officials say they expect the states will ask about similar investigations, both in the U.S. and internationally. Back in March, Europe fined Google $1.7 billion for forcing advertisers to only advertise with them. Facebook is also facing new scrutiny. On Friday, New York led 8 states and the District of Columbia to open up a similar antitrust investigation into the social media company. Both tech companies are already being investigated by the U.S. Justice Department. Both say they will work with state officials on their concerns. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, Amazon is holding what it's calling the nation's biggest job fair. Online retailer is looking to fill more than 30,000 new jobs. They'll recruit in 6 cities this month, including Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Seattle. There will also be a fair in Arlington, Virginia, where Amazon is staffing its second headquarters. The company says that all jobs pay at least $15 an hour and have competitive benefits.
Still to come here on Eyewitness News, a big increase in the number of pregnant women battling high blood pressure, how the condition is posing health risks for the moms and the babies.
New research reveals a big increase in high blood pressure among pregnant women. As Chris Martinez tells us now, the condition can pose a significant health risk for both mom and baby.
Chanel Bradley is diligent about checking her blood pressure. Now pregnant with her second child, she developed hypertension during her first pregnancy. The condition caused Chanel to deliver far earlier than expected.
My first daughter came 6 weeks early. She was 3 pounds, 5.5 ounces, and stayed in the NICU for about 3 weeks.
Chanel is among a growing number of pregnant women in the U.S. battling high blood pressure. New research in the journal Hypertension finds the cases of women with high blood pressure when they become pregnant or who have it diagnosed in the first 2 trimesters has seen a 13-fold increase over the past 4 decades. The study defined high blood pressure as a reading of 140/90 or higher. Dr. Amy Stoddard from UCLA Health says the increase is largely due to more women becoming pregnant later in life and warns the condition can cause serious health risks, including kidney failure, stroke, and increased risk of stillbirth. Pregnant women with high blood pressure require extra prenatal care.
More ultrasounds to check to make sure that the baby is growing appropriately, and then, additional monitoring of the pregnancy as you get into the 3rd trimester.
Chanel now takes daily medication and keeps a close watch on her blood pressure. She encourages other moms-to-be to do the same. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Santa Monica.
On the same note, it's National Fetal Alcohol Syndrome Disorder Awareness Day in the United States. Prenatal alcohol exposure is a growing problem here in the United States. It's also the leading cause of intellectual disability, and it's 100% preventable. Kern Behavioral Health is wearing red shoes to bring awareness to the disorder. For more information on that disorder, visit our website, bakersfieldnow.com.
The FDA is warning e-cigarette maker Juul about illegally marketing its vaping products as a safer alternative to cigarettes. Federal law says that companies must show scientific evidence before marketing tobacco products as a better option. Juul has 15 days now to comply with the law or risk fines. The warning comes as more lung disease deaths are being reported in the U.S. that could be linked to vaping.
A local clinic is allowing people in Arvin to get medical care closer to home. Clinica Sierra Vista opened its doors to a new clinic with walk-in patients being accepted today. The new health centers includes urgent care services and 6 exam rooms. It also has a lab and x-ray equipment. The walk-in clinic will be open every day from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. It's at 1305 Bear Mountain Boulevard.
And still ahead on Eyewitness News tonight at 6 o'clock, the sister of NBA star Kawhi Leonard accused of murder, a deadly confrontation inside a California casino.
The battle between research and innovation and the protection of sacred lands is a tale as old as time. Its next stake is in Hawaii, where Native Hawaiian protesters are engaged in a months-long dispute over the construction of the 30-meter telescope. This $1.4 billion project is an astronomer's dream, but a nightmare for those who believe it would desecrate a place that Native Hawaiians deem sacred. The revolutionary project could advance astronomy, but do the benefits outweigh the cost? For the protesters, the answer is clear. They've blocked the road to the summit since July, fought legal battles against the project since 2009, and show no signs of stopping, even though Hawaii's Supreme Court gave the go-ahead last month. Public opposition of science projects like the 30-meter telescope aren't anything new. But in an age where people are becoming more woke, the protests in Hawaii are receiving support from outside of the area as well. Environmental groups, celebrities, and other leaders are in solidarity with the Hawaiian natives. Respect for sacred lands is important. For far too long, natives have been steamrolled in our quest to learn more about the vast unknown beyond the stars. Let's get to the point. The 30-meter telescope is a vast undertaking that completely ignores the sacred lands that mean so much to the Native Hawaiians. They're fighting back with the only weapon they have: protest. Our pursuit of scientific advancement shouldn't trump our humanity.
Now here's a different point of view.
The stars are aligning in Hawaii to protest the construction of a powerful telescope at the top of the state's highest point and location of spiritual and historical significance, a dormant volcano known as Mauna Kea. Jason Momoa, Bruno Mars, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have all joined thousands of people in protest. The all-Democratic congressional delegation from Hawaii has been MIA on this issue. Senator Mazie Hirono and Congressman Ed Case support the project. Senator Brian Schatz laying low, hoping this blows over. Tulsi Gabbard, perhaps the least liberal member of the Hawaiian delegation, has been the only one who has called for the project to be delayed and for the governor to listen to the protesters. Many people are unaware of the long-standing, complex societal tensions on the islands between Native Hawaiians and those from the mainland. It would appear, given their reaction to the telescope construction and inability to side with the thousands of people protesting in their state, that the federal representatives from Hawaii are unaware as well. Here's the bottom line. I find it disheartening that when it's convenient, the Hawaiian congressional delegation has suddenly largely gone quiet. I guess that is what happens when a state is run almost exclusively by a hypocritical band of liberals.
The views expressed by commentators do not necessarily reflect the views of this station.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. Taking a look at temperatures across the nation, and you can see a lot of places still hot as we move into the later part of the evening. You know, keep in mind that 93 in Dallas, the sun's down in Dallas already. 89 in New Orleans, same thing. The sun's down there. Sun's down in Atlanta where it's 94 degrees. The sun is not down in Phoenix where it's 98, and I am convinced after living there for 4 years that the sun is never down in Phoenix. It is perpetually daytime. 87 degrees was our high here in Bakersfield today. You see that same 87 up in Fresno, 86 in Visalia, 88 over there in Hanford. A little warmer out in the deserts, 96 in Barstow, 91 in Bishop, 95 over in Ridgecrest. Only 90 degrees over in Edwards. It's actually a pretty pretty nice day there, and 72 in Tehachapi, 74 over there in Gorman. Actually very much in line with Santa Barbara right there, which is a little out of the ordinary, especially considering that Santa Barbara is 15 degrees cooler than they were yesterday. Talk about a cold snap. Woo! I'm sure everyone there is very happy to feel that relief. A few degrees warmer here in the valley, but do not fret, that is all about to change. You can see our dew points are in the 40s, which is wonderful. 40s are nice and comfortable. Even that 32 in Ridgecrest, it's a little bit on the drier end, but it's not so dry that it's uncomfortable. Taking a look at our satellite radar, you can see some air, some nice cool air swooping around from the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to rotate straight in to Bakersfield and most of Kern County. And even though you see all this precipitation, all that green stuff up there by the Pacific Northwest, we're not going to get any of that. We're just going to get cool air and wind. Taking a look right here, you can see wind's going to be persistent through the night and even through the early morning hours, not just in the desert, but over in the city and over in the rest of the valley too. Staying pretty breezy up there in the mountains. And then watch tomorrow, everything just flares up and we have wind everywhere. This is at 5 o'clock in the evening, and so you see some hot points. Those purple areas mean you're not just looking at high winds, but you're looking at some pretty strong sustained gusts too. For anyone heading out of town, as we are close to everywhere, you got, for the most part, high 60s, low 70s the next couple days over in San Francisco, and then they're going to leapfrog up to the low 80s. Tahoe is going to be all over the place as well, going from the 50s all the way up to the 70s. Monterey going to stay fairly consistent between 70 and 80. Yosemite, same as Tahoe. Morro Bay going to go from the 60s to the 80s. Same for Pismo Beach. That's going to start in the 70s, though. Santa Maria, you see a 15-degree hike there and a 9-degree hike over in Santa Barbara. Pretty consistent in LA and the Santa Monica area, staying between 75 and 80, and you could say the same for San Diego and Huntington too throughout this week. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast here in Bakersfield. You see the next couple of days pretty cool. 82 degrees tomorrow here in Bakersfield, 86 on Wednesday. Overnight lows just barely at or over 60 degrees. Then we're going to warm back up, chance for triple digits this weekend, but there's also still a chance that none of that happens. Still, our overnight lows are going to continue to drop as we tail into fall, and hopefully once we do get to fall, it'll actually be fall and we don't get any of these pop-up 100-degree days anymore. 68 in the mountains tomorrow with overnight lows in the 40s, going up to the 80s in the latter part of the week. And over in the Kern River Valley, 76 tomorrow, 83 on Wednesday, and then 90s the rest of the way. Overnight lows in the 50s the next couple of days. And pretty soon we're going to be in fall time and these temperatures will be consistent. But for now, we're on the roller coaster.
I can't wait. Very good. A Missouri meatball is going where no meatball has gone before, into space. The launch was part of a promotion for an Italian restaurant. The manager says that the meaty morsel, which has been named Cosmo, rode a weather balloon 89,000 feet up. From there, the balloon is expected to pop and then send the meatball, of course, back down to Earth.
He has a parachute after everything ruptures so that he can return safely. He really wants to continue being a meatball and does not want to become ground beef.
There he is, Cosmo the meatball. The meatball is expected to land 75 to 200 miles away, give or take there. They plan to retrieve and display the meatball back at the restaurant. There's no word yet on whether they have found Cosmo. We'll try to stay on top of the Cosmo thing here and let you know how it goes.
Hard-hitting stuff there, Dave. Still to come here at 6 o'clock on Eyewitness News. A powerful storm strikes the coast of Japan as local winds start to come in pretty strong to Tokyo this morning.
Now, Eyewitness News Sports with Craig Kerr.
Well, you can be as good as you want on paper, but you got to play the game, huh?
Yeah, you do. Week 1 of the NFL season, we saw a little bit of everything, and we've got games going on tonight. In fact, Houston, 14-3 lead over the Saints in New Orleans, and they don't lose there very often. That's at halftime. Week 1 of the NFL season, what do we know? Well, probably less than we think we do. Is Miami that bad? Probably. Is Lamar Jackson that good? Could be. We'll learn more about BCHS product Derek Carr and the Raiders when they host Denver tonight, one of 2 games in the doubleheader. What about the Cleveland Browns? All that preseason hype? And then Tennessee went out and just put a whooping on them. How about a screen pass where Derrick Henry wasn't even touched? He went 75 yards for the score. As for Baker Mayfield, and there was a lot of summer hype over the Browns and Mayfield. 3 interceptions, including this pick 6 right here. Titans tight end Delaney Walker not holding back as the Titans crushed the Browns 43-13.
That we didn't even circle this game. This is just another game. We ain't worried about it. I'm going to tell you again, man, they were who we thought they were. Y'all can crown them if you want to crown them. Still got to play football.
And that's the late Denny Green used to say that. Odell Beckham Jr. wearing a Richard Mille watch valued at over $250,000. He wore it during the game. Not against the rules, by the way, to wear jewelry. However, the NFL is contacting Beckham to let him know you can't wear hard objects. I don't know if he was trying to beat the 40-second clock or what he was doing with the watch on, but he decided to wear it. This watch, by the way, was an accessory to his ride. He arrived in the game in a Rolls Royce. David Ortiz is back in Boston after nearly dying as a result of gunshot wounds in his native country of the Dominican Republic. Ortiz, a former Red Sox great, throwing out the first pitch today. An ovation, and he looks like a first baseman, doesn't he, throwing it like that? Received a huge ovation from the crowd and from the Red Sox players. Ortiz, a bit of a cult figure in Boston during his playing days, addressing the crowd.
I want to thank God for giving me a second opportunity in my life to be able to be here with all of you. I want to thank the Red Sox, my real family. They always have been there for me, supporting me. They were aware of what happened to me, and they were the first one there supporting me. Thank you very much, Red Sox family.
All right, we got the Royals and Marlins and a foul ball down the line. Look at this kid with a nice catch with his glove. I mean, what a moment. That's a once-in-a-lifetime moment right there. First of all, he's at a Marlins-Royals game. But that's same inning, same batter, and he caught another. I guess it's not a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Same batter, same inning, same kid. He's a cult hero. Same can't be said for this guy in San Diego. The white shirt right there, yeah, hat in hand and beer going, down. I'm guessing that was not his first as he stumbles and goes down. He did have a good laugh with it, by the way. And that's that. By the way, some news coming out of USC. Lynn Swann has stepped down as athletic director after 3 years. They've had some issues at USC under his tenure, and so he's quietly, well, I don't know how quietly, but he is resigning and stepping away. We're going to talk some high school football, BC football later at 6. The Saints just scored. It's 14-10 in favor of the Texans. We'll have much more at 6.
All right. Thank you, Greg. And coming up on here at 6 as well.
This is about an attitude.